Hi guys, it's me. I'm going to be trying to post some videos of some reading and some math, so while we're not together in the classroom, we can still stay connected and do some learning as a family. So I wanted to start with a book that I've actually found in my garage. It was one of Jack's favorite books when he was little, and it was in a box of books I saved for him for when he has kids. And I think it's a good book for today. It's a Dr. Seuss. We know he just had his birthday. It's called Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? When I was quite young and quite small for my size, I met an old man in the desert of Dries, and he sang me a song I will never forget. At least, well, I haven't forgotten it yet. He sat in a terribly prickly place, but he sang with a sunny, sweet smile on his face. When you think things are bad, when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, you should do what I do. Just tell yourself, ducky, you're really quite lucky. Some people are much more, ever so much more, muchly much more unlucky than you. Be glad you don't work on the Bungle Bung Bridge that they're building across Boober Bay at Bum Ridge. It's a troublesome world. All the people who are in it are troubled with troubles almost every minute. You ought to be thankful, a whole heaping lot, for the places and people you're lucky you're not. Just suppose, for example, you lived in Gaziat and got caught in that traffic on Ziat Highway at. Or suppose, just for instance, you lived in Gazir with your bedroom up here and your bathroom up there. You see the difference in the lights where the bathroom and the bedroom are? If you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, that would be rough. Just suppose you were Herbie Hart, who has taken his thrum dimbulator apart. He never will get it together, I'm sure. He never will know if the gick or the gore fits into the scrux or the snucks or the snore. Yes, ducky, you're lucky you're not Herbie Hart, who has taken his thrum dimbulator apart. Think they work you too hard? Think of poor Ali Sard. He has to mow grass in his uncle's backyard. And it's quick-growing grass, and it grows as he mows it. The faster he mows it, the faster he grows it. And all his stingy old uncle will pay for his showing that mower around in that hay is the piffless pay of 2 duklas a day. And Ali can't live on such piffless pay. So he has to paint flagpoles on Sunday in Grooves. How lucky you are that you don't live in his shoes. And poor Mr. Bix, every morning at 6, poor Mr. Bix has his Borfin to fix. It doesn't seem fair, it just doesn't seem right. But his Borfin seems to go schlump every night. It schlumps in a heap, sadly needing repair. Bix figures it's due to the local night air. It takes him all day to unschlump it, and then the night air comes back, and it schlumps once again. So don't you feel blue. Don't get down in the dumps. You're lucky you don't have a Borfin that schlumps. We have no idea what a Borfin is or what it does. And while we're at it, consider the schlots, the crumple-horn, web-footed, green-bearded schlots, whose tail is entailed with unsolvable knots. If he isn't muchly more worse off than you, I'll eat my umbrella. That's just what I'll do. And you're lucky indeed you don't ride on a camel. To ride on a camel, you sit on a whammel. A whammel, you know, is sort of a saddle held on by a button that's known as a faddle. And boy, if your old whammel faddle gets loose, I'm telling you, ducky, you're gone like a goose. And poor Mr. Potter, T-crosser, I dotter, he has to cross T's and he has to dot I's. in an INT factory out in Van Nuys. That would be a very tedious and boring job. Oh, the jobs people work out west near Hwatch Hwatch. There's a Hwatch Hwatcher bee watcher. His job is to watch. It's to keep both his eyes on the lazy town bee. A bee that is watched will work harder, you see. Well, he watched and he watched, but in spite of his watch, that bee didn't work any harder. Not watch. See that funny word? So then somebody said, our old bee watching man just isn't bee watching as hard as he can. He ought to be watched by another Hwatch Watcher. The thing that we need is a bee watcher. Well, the bee watcher watched the bee watcher. He didn't watch well, so another Hwatch Watcher had to come in as a watcher. And today, all of the Hwatchers who live in Hwatch Hwatch are watching on Watch Watcher, watching the watcher who's watching that bee. You're not a Hwatch Watcher. You're lucky, you see. And how fortunate you're not Professor DeBreeze, who has spent the past 32 years, if you please, trying to teach Irish ducks how to read Jivanese. It's kind of a cool looking language. And think of poor puffing Pooglehorn players who have to parade down Pooglehorn stairs every morning to wake up the Prince of Pooboken. It's awful how often their poggles get broken. Actually, their poogles get broken. Sorry. And oh, just suppose your poor Harry Hatto, try as he will, he can't make any shadow. He thinks that perhaps something's wrong with his giz, and I think that by golly, there probably is. And the brothers Bazoo, the poor brothers Bazoo, suppose your hair grew like theirs happened to do. You think you're unlucky? I'm telling you, ducky, some people are muchly, oh ever so muchly more unlucky than you. That's pretty hilarious. One guy's beard goes into another guy's hair. And suppose that you live in that forest in France where the average young person just hasn't a chance to escape from the perilous pants-eating plants. But your pants are safe. You're a fortunate guy, and you ought to be shouting, how lucky am I? Oh, look. That plant ate his pants. And speaking of plants, you should be greatly gladdish if you're not Farmer Falkenberg's 17th radish. And you're so lucky you're not Gucky Gown, who lives by himself 99 miles out of town in the ruins of Ronk. Ronk is rather run down. And you're so lucky you're not a left sock left behind by mistake in the caverns of Croc. Thank goodness for all of the things you are not. Thank goodness you're not something someone forgot and left all alone in some punkerish place like a rusty tin coat hanger hanging in space. That's why I say, ducky, don't grumble, don't stew. Some critters are much, oh, ever so much, so muchly much more unlucky than you. The end. So, I hope you like the story. This is really just a test for me and for you to see if this is a way that we can stay in touch until we're back in school. I have 2 ideas for you. 1, try to invent a very unlucky place. Something that would be really not a fun place to live, like the Bungle Bung Bridge, or Gazir, where your bedroom's up here and your bathroom's over there. That's one idea. The second idea would be make a list of all the things that you really are thankful for right now. The things you are lucky to have, like the people in your family, maybe a favorite game, a pet, cherry Coke, I don't know, think about it. So those are my challenges for you. After you make your list or you draw a picture of a place that's unlucky, snap a picture and post it to your Class Dojo portfolio for me to see. Okay, bye for now.